Previously on Ready to Die.
Kiss Me Deadly ultimately observes a pack of drunk, bumbling, self-interested gits interfering with a power they have no register of, and the ultimate result is death, destruction, and catastrophe.
Yeesh.
That was a little dark, wasn't it? I know I tend to cover some not-so-cheery stuff on this channel, and that some of you who dipped a toe into my short film work might have been like, "Hey yo, what the fuck?" So, in deciding what I wanted to cover next, I was aware that I hadn't reviewed any sci-fi, and I wanted something generally uplifting. Gagarine, which premiered at Cannes in 2020, checks both boxes. I caught the trailer for Fanny Liatard and Jeremy Trouill's debut feature ages ago pre-COVID. Its dreamlike imagery and title stuck with me, and I just recently dug it up at Ye Olde Bay Street Video. The film expands on a 2015 short the filmmakers conducted on location at Cité Gagarine, a former housing project in southeastern France. Built in the early 60s by the Communist Party, it was named after Soviet cosmonaut Yuri Gagarin, who was the first human to travel into outer space. Gagarin himself visited the towers upon their completion, which is documented in the film's opening. When Liatard and Trouilh learned of the project's impending demolition during production of the short, they began working to expand it into a feature to properly immortalize this place on screen while they still could. There's something very special about this, and the film leans into it. While a narrative feature, this is a document of a time and place and a community that no longer exists, interspersed with historical footage and candid discussions from those who actually lived there. Gagarine's story follows 16-year-old Yuri, a budding astronomer who spends his time researching interstellar travel and hanging with his friends Hussam and Diana, the latter of whom he has a big crush on. After the towers are deemed uninhabitable during a tense inspection, the three first try to make repairs and amendments to their home to stave off its destruction. When that reality becomes inevitable and evictions begin, Yuri defiantly stays behind. His mother abandoned him for a boyfriend who didn't want him around long ago, and this community is all he has. He slowly begins using his knowledge of how astronauts survive in unforgiving conditions to improve faulty lighting, fashion a greenhouse, a water filtration system, and a star chart. Slowly but surely, he turns what's left of his home into his own space station. I'd guess there are a lot of people who can relate to seeing their high schools renamed, renovated. I was the last graduating class from a 7-8 middle school split. The building was shut down and abandoned for years. Or maybe you've seen a childhood home repainted or otherwise altered by the new owners. Going back to those places, even for a quick drive-by, can feel eerie and nostalgic and foreign all at once, and that's the distinct feeling that pervades Gagarine. Of course, none of those experiences are comparable to being told the place you've grown up in, the entire self-contained community of family, friends, neighbors, relatives, and enemies that might be all you've known, is set to be completely destroyed, scattering you to the wind. Yes, I know what this is looking like, but trust me, this is an uplifting film. I've seen quite a few movies set in housing projects, but very few that devote themselves to exploring the tight-knit communities that exist within them in positive, but not necessarily naive ways. The connection between Yuri and his friends never feels overwritten or overexplained. And while the film's somewhat aimless, episodic second act might strain attention for some, it feels authentic to me. Aimless is exactly how these kids would be feeling in this situation. They link up, float around, see things, bump into people, climb things they probably shouldn't. That sense of drifting into little misadventures with a tight-knit group, that's what my late teens and early adulthood felt like anyway. The blossoming romance between Yuri and Diana is also patiently developed, innocent, and insufferably cute. As they're both sci-fi and orienteering nerds, they start communicating in Morse code at one point, which later leads to Morse code forehead kisses. There is literally nothing in the world more adorable than that, besides maybe Old English sheepdog puppies or baby elephants learning to use their trunks. What touches me most about the film is its study of how your passions can transcend your environment and quite literally save you. Cité Gagarine was always unique and visually striking, but Liatard and Trouilh find alien and otherworldly ways to shoot it like it's something out of a space opera, which serves to further embed us in Yuri's fruitful imagination while also paying tribute to its history and inception. The soundtrack and cinematography are frequently entrancing to this effect. Yuri is quiet and introverted, so the film speaks for him. I feel like I'm treading a tightrope between reality and sentiment as carefully as the film does here, but when it feels like the world is going to hell in so many ways, there's something very reassuring about this film. It acknowledges how life can be cruel and unfair, but also reminds us we can harness the power of our internal worlds to create real solutions, even if it's only for our corner or our community. You've got to start somewhere. Thank you for watching, everyone. I'll see you again soon with a little something for the John Woo fans.